Welcome everyone to the Realty Debate on commercial and office real estate in the country. Linked even more closely to the state of the economy than residential, it really comes as no surprise that this sector has been under pressure for the last 2 years. The question we are asking today is the worst over for India's retail and office property markets. The outgoing Finance Minister P. Chidambaram did indicate that the commercial real estate has seen a pickup after a long time. Today, we'll try and figure that out. Has it really, or does it still have some way to go before it sees light at the end of the tunnel? My guests for the debate today, Ramesh Nair, COO Operations, Jones Lang LaSalle. Actually, they've rebranded, so it should be JLL India. Anand Sundaram, Chief Executive Officer, Pioneer Property Zone, PPZ. Rajneesh Mahajan, COO, Inorbit Malls India Private Limited. We also have with us an interesting guest, Gitesh Agrawal, Chief Marketing Officer, DNM India. The company is one of India's largest fitment companies, so we'll get a perspective from them as well. Ashish Jairath, Vice President Sales, Emaar MGF Land Private Limited, for a Delhi NCR perspective. Ajay Rakheja, Director NCR North and East Colliers International. And Sameer Jasuja, Founder and CEO of Prop Equity. So there are lots of questions to discuss, but I think the panel today is leaning towards retail. So we'll start with what's happening in the retail space, because that's an important part of your commercial market. Now, I'm going to read out a few statistics because they just kind of lend some background to our discussion today. The reports which have come out so far say that as many as 40 malls have downed their shutters in the last 2 years and 18 malls were deferred in 2013. Now, 10 of the deferred malls are in NCR. Pune also saw a deferment of about 1.3 million square feet, while 900,000 square feet of mall space was delayed in Bangalore in 2013. NCR's mall vacancy is the highest in the country at a staggering 55%. Mumbai is a close second with 52% vacancy, followed by Ahmedabad and Chennai. These are Cushman and Wakefield numbers. One mall each in Chennai, which is about 220,000 square feet, and Hyderabad about 130,000 square feet, have also been delayed. Now, most of these have been on account of funding issues, which have led many developers to slower pace of construction. That basically gives you a picture of what's happening, but then that it's not all negative. Ramesh Nair, come in first with a perspective of retail realty in India, FDI, the euphoria around it, the middle income group story of India, 1.2 billion, urbanization, all of that I've read in the JLL report on retail. It's really not panned out, even close to expectations, has it?
I think, Manisha, the correction has happened. It's been a self-correcting phase. If you look at the overall demand for retail space in the country, today it stands at approximately 5 million square feet. But if you look at the supply which is coming up, although on paper you may see that there is 8 million, 6 million and 4 million square feet of supply coming up over the next 3 years, that's 14, 15 and 16. If you actually deep dive into this supply, what we realize is only around 3 million each, which is 3 million this year, next year and the year after that, there is relevant grade A supply. So what we are seeing for the first time is absorption or demand going to be actually more than supply, which is actually good news, because overall the overall perception has always been that retail supply has been more than demand, and this is where it's very important that we break it up into relevant supply and non-relevant supply. So today if you look at overall vacancy across the country, would show you a figure of around 19 to 20% as the overall vacancy for retail malls in the country. But if you look at only the grade A supply in that comes to just around 10%. So I think what's most important is looking at relevant grade A supply. But the sad part is, even after all these years, developers are still doing malls in wrong locations. Developers are doing inferior products. Developers are not maintaining malls. Developers are selling strata sales. So that's where, in spite of this year, we are going to be seeing 8 million square feet of supply. Just around 3 million square feet of supply is actually relevant. One more point to be noted here is the share of retail in the overall grade A investment grade quality construction which is happening in the country has been reducing. So if 3 years back the overall commercial share was around 35% of the overall construction happening, with residential contributing 65%, today that share has actually become 82% residential and just around 18% commercial. And in that 18%, Retail is just around 20%, with office contributing 80%. So there's hardly anyone today constructing malls in the country, which we believe eventually will help in increasing rentals in most parts of India.
All right, Rajesh Mahajan, is that good news or bad news for you? The fact that retail space creation, grade A retail space creation is actually shrinking in the country. Rajesh Mahajan.
The later part of the statement that my friend Ramesh made is a very interesting aspect, that the supply is coming down, so the rentals will go up. But at the same time, these rentals have to be affordable. It just can't be a demand-supply equation. Retail business is not a cost center like office market. It is a profit center, and the retailers, if they are not able to produce good numbers on the revenue side, then there would be a pressure on the rentals all the time. So it is related to the productivity of the retailers. Yes, there is been a differentiation which is emerging in terms of relevant supply in retail development and non-relevant supply. And the relevant supply has been seeing good response, and we have seen the recent malls which have come in good locations, better development, good quality developments, have seen higher level of occupancies at a much shorter span than it used to be earlier.
Okay, Anand Sundaram, so rentals, what I'm hearing is that are still very high, despite the fact that there has been a slowdown, there aren't too many takers, but rentals continue to stay high. How do you get out of a situation like that? Because supply of grade A or relevant supply is going down, then rentals aren't going to come down in a hurry, are they?
It's not very likely that rentals are going to soften or come down very much, because we see a very polarized market. There are some malls which are not so well managed. On the other hand, there are the malls which are much better managed, where their focus is on consumption, and the customer consumption bring in higher retail revenues, and that translates into higher rentals. And obviously, they are preferred very much so over the other malls and other retail centers, and the retail brands are willing to be there at those centers. So therefore, the retail rentals are unlikely to come down in the shorter term. I guess this will be the case for all the better managed centers.
Okay, Ajay Rakheja, so what do you do? I mean, it seems to be a catch-22 sort of a situation. There is supply coming, but then probably it's not the kind of supply that high street retailers are looking to take up. Do you think that 2014 could see better times? Rentals will go up. Is that good or bad? Number one. And number two, will more developers, if rentals do go up and the market looks a bit stronger, once again look at creating more retail space?
Predominantly, if you see 2013, the retail space towards especially micro markets of NCR or towards Calcutta, it has been, the new supply did came up, but it had to slow down, and the leasings or the starter leasing did happen for a few anchors only. The vanilla stores, or I would say the more number of people are putting their presence or showing their initial commitments to bigger malls or even mid-sized malls, were very slow towards 2013. So I think there would be certainly a stable growth when we see for next 2 quarters. But towards Q4 this year, when we see a couple of more supply getting ready, and when there will be no vacancies, I think then we should see a firm price and markets behaving in the right way, what retail requires to be in the market.
Ashish Jairath, you're getting ready to launch 1 million square feet, isn't it?
We are delivering 1 million square feet.
You're delivering, not launch, delivering 1 million square feet in NCR, and this is the situation right now. The market is slow, you know that. So how are you going to play this game between retail and office space?
See, this is the 1 million which is coming into delivery is largely office space. And over last 2 years, what we've seen is there's been a lot of bottom fishing that has happened by the self-user segment. So when doing analysis of this office space, we've seen around at least 40% is going into a self-use. So that is one trend that we've seen across office, where people understand that they've seen the bottoming out of rates for now.
So why have you not considered retail? Let's come to the office trends a little bit later. Do you think that in hindsight it was a great strategy, or it was a part of a larger corporate strategy that we'll stick to residential and office?
Yes, that's a part of the larger strategy that we've pursued to put in the residential first and later office. I think it's some time before we'll go and add some capacity into the retail segment. Now, after office, where, as I also mentioned, that we are moving another 500,000 square feet, which is the fresh launch, into fresh construction.
And that's also all office.
That's all office. That's
Okay.
90% of that is office. So you can see that we see days ahead to be much more positive than what we've seen, and see we cannot we have to plan for 2 to 3 years
Yes.
from now. So we see that upswing coming in, and we are putting in the money there.
Okay, Sameer, so coming back to retail, we look at, of course, questions that Ashish has raised about and some strategies on office space. But retail, I think the biggest story which hasn't played out, and these are some of the things that everybody was talking about and very excited about, that, hey, we have such a large middle income community and growing population, urbanization happening, a very young population which would want to shop. And guess what? We should really have malls getting thronged, and not just in tier 1 cities, but also in tier 2 cities. My question is, why do you think that hasn't played out? I mean, is it just the economy, or, as Ramesh also pointed out, that developers perhaps are also to be blamed that they haven't come out with quality mall supply?
You see, there are many reasons for that. The biggest reason being that, first of all, mall management is a full-fledged business other than real estate. And both have to be combined together to be able to deliver real retail value both to the developer and to the consumer. I think that's the first and most important point, which developers did not really understand. They felt that, and there's been a huge amount of herd mentality. So when the first few malls were launched and there was a genuine demand for them, everybody followed suit, and you had 30 malls coming in the same micro market because the first 4 or 5 sold. And that's what led to a huge oversupply in the market. And without mall management, they were not being able to attract the right set of tenants in each mall.
Right.
And that is what led to the failure. The second reason what led to the failure was that there was no mixed use development that came around the mall. So they should have been smart enough to build malls with ground and first floor as retail and upper floors as office space. That is also what has led to this big downfall in the mall segment, because they built 5-floor storied malls where there was no demand in the 3rd, 4th, 5th floor, and that leads to a huge amount of vacancy. That's the second reason. The third thing that nobody is really looking at, and going future, one has to be very take all this into account, is the internet sales. Now what you are seeing, the
I was going to come to
Flipkarts,
it.
the Snapdeals, they are crossing $1 billion in sale, and in the next 3 to 4 years, we are estimating $16 to $17 billion of sales happening in the retail segment online, and that too with great deals available. So retailers are not doing well. So I think, I don't know what the overall share, the organized retail share internet companies will take away from them, but I think the developers have to be extremely careful. They have to get the right mall management companies, and that still remains a concept in this country.
Well, the DLF mall, which is supposed to be the mega mall of India and change the entire sizing concept of malls in India, has been many months delayed.
That's because
right?
Ambi Mall came along and took away all the tenants, and you have 1 million square feet of retail in addition to 30 odd malls in Gurgaon. There is no demand
left.
whatsoever.
Okay. So, Ramesh, your thoughts on this online business and how it's taken off and what it's going to do to the future of retail in India? I mean, do you think developers still have a compelling reason? Because see, land in markets and urban centers which are likely to do well in the next 5 to 8 years are probably very difficult to come by and are also very expensive. So how do developers really play this game, if at all?
Manisha, I'll touch upon the online trends and also touch upon the key retailer trends. Let's look at the panelists today, including you. How many of us have actually decided not to go to a mall and shopped actually online, other than those one-off books which we keep buying? So I think in India it's quite some time away. I'm sure all the panelists here have, we are not going to stop going to malls on Saturdays and going to online go and buy stuff from all the websites around. That's one. Second is, the retailer behavior has changed. Today he is not looking at dots in the map, which is what he was looking at in 2007 and 8. Today he wants to be in the best performing shopping malls. Second is, retailer format sizes have changed. The same supermarket which would look at 10,000 square feet today is looking at 5,000 square feet. The same department stores which would look at 40,000 square feet today are looking at 25,000 square feet. So that's another big shift. And the third, like Rajneesh pointed out, is it has to be malls which actually work in terms of whether it's mall management, whether it's in terms of affordability. So that's very, very important. So we are seeing a distinct change in retailer behavior over the last 3-4 years, and that's obviously impacting the overall mall supply in the country.
Ajay Rakheja, compelling business for developers to look at retail mall, creating retail malls in the next 5 to 8 years? Or not yet?
No, yes. If you see the concepts of designs that has been coming up, or the new designs concept which has been lately followed, it's more towards high street malls rather than, fancy swanky malls with high luxury specs. So I think those kind of specifications are catching up with common man, and they're ready to shop and, move and dine together and, shop also. So which gives more convenience of shopping as well as experience of moving and, open to sky kind of concepts. So these kind of concepts are really bringing in more value to end consumers rather than, a closed-net malls which
You've
has
not answered my question.
Fleet of repeat brands.
Is there money to be made by developers if they get into or they look at retail space very, very, let's say carefully, get their strategy right? Is there money to be made? Or it's still a business which is a tough one to crack for the next couple of years?
Well, I would say if they have a patient capital and they can sustain themselves for next 5 to 7 years with capex, high capex on construction and fit outs, and they're also ready to get involved with the minimum guarantee concepts and revenue share concepts, they should put their hands still in this business. There's still some juice left still in this retail business, yeah.
Okay, final word before we wrap up the retail discussion and move on to office space. Anand Sundaram, you've had a decade of mall experience and 20 cities around India. I mean, give us the final takeaway. Is the worst over? Does the fact that an IKEA and Tesco, they're looking at entering into India, are these the triggers that would actually give a push to this market and probably A, firm up rentals, and B, give developers some compelling reasons to look at creating good mall space?
I'll have to deep dive into what our records and what our research shows. The polarization of these markets have been very hard, where some of the better managed malls have recorded profitability in excess of 25% growth year on year. And the same has been true for consumption, which is about 35% growth year-on-year consumption, which is translating into some great monies for malls. So it is good business to be in. On the other hand, the not so well managed malls have lost out. But to come back to your question, yes, these retailers and the news that these retailers are spreading has buoyed the market up. And there's a substantial amount of activity in the market. Added to that is a shortage in supply of organized A-grade malls that Ramesh was talking about. So I think there's a great story in the going in the future, and yes, it looks very promising.
All right. On that note, we're going to wrap out of the retail space, but there's still, of course, a large part of commercial, which is the office space. It's a much bigger discussion because as geographies change, I think the trends also have been very different and divergent all through 2012 and 2013. So keep an eye. That's the other side of this little break that we're going to take right now.